still so much power in picking up the cinder block phone and connecting with people versus shooting automated text, automated follow-ups, automated all these things.
Yeah.
It's like people will start to lose the touch and you won't be that relationship person. When they think real estate, they need to think you. They're not going to think, oh, that guy sends me an email every day. I haven't talked to him in 2 years. I don't even know what he's up to. There's a huge difference to that.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and today I have a guest from British Columbia, TJ Dumonceaux. Did I say it right?
Thanks for having me. You did. Dumonceaux.
Right.
It's a tongue twister.
It's great. Well, I was really concerned I was going to handle that one, but I was so close. Anyway,
You got it.
so welcome to have you here, and I'm excited because you're, I think, my second or third person that I've interviewed in Canada, which is a different market than the States, of course. And I do business globally, so I love having a different perspective. I don't even know where British Columbia is. Is that on the right-hand side if I'm looking at a map?
Top left,
Oh, top
kind of
left.
just above like Seattle area, pretty close to there.
Okay.
Washington.
Okay, good. Now I can relate to it because I have a classic car that I got right up there in Washington State. So anyway,
You were close.
we're close, right? All right, good. You're on the cold side. Well, all of it's cold up there, isn't it?
Yeah. We got snow on the ground already, but I'm a big winter guy, so I don't mind at all. But our summers are like we're like the California of Canada, I would suggest.
Oh,
The
nice.
summers here are amazing.
Great. All right. So today we're here to talk about you. You've got your own firm. I've got a business partner there and won all kinds of awards. And you want to tell us a little bit about you, how you got into it, kind of what's your model for your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm born and raised in Kelowna, one of the few who kind of has remained, been in the industry for about 7 years now. Growing up, we moved 16 times all around Kelowna, West Kelowna. My family was flipping houses. My dad was a HVAC contractor and had a business. So we were always moving around, which from an early age, I was on the back of his truck, helping out, understanding renovations, how construction all worked. So I always had this inkling that I'd get into some sort of capacity in real estate. I didn't know that it'd be sales or building or what have you. But fast forward, I got in 2019 and started a smaller boutique brokerage with who's my now business partner, Steph. And we just started organically kind of crossing over, helping each other cover each other's business so that we could kind of unplug and take a day to recharge. As we all know, that's one of the big things in this industry is burnout is very real,
Very real.
24/7, 365. So yeah, since then we've been on our own, kind of started our own team back going on 6 years ago. There's 6 of us on our team now. So yeah, we've just kind of every day we're looking for ways to improve. We meet as a team every morning, and we both come from team backgrounds, which I think is a huge thing. I played hockey growing up to NCAA Division I level, and then she played soccer all the way up to a very high level as well.
Wow.
So having a collective group all rowing in the same direction is extremely important for us, and it's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. We've got go ahead.
Well, I was thinking it's discipline. It taught you discipline and
Discipline,
systems,
consistency,
organization. Yeah, those are weak links for me. Darn it. But very, very important tools in business, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I saw all kinds of awards that you've gotten on your website, which is great. So even in that short period of time, although you got into the market probably at a really good time, 19, I started in 2006 where it was up and then it died. But
yeah, it was pretty wild. I remember I bought my first property in 2019 as well. And when COVID happened, there was kind of a 2-month shutdown here. And I was in full reno mode. So it actually worked out well for me, but it was very much like, what is this all going to look like? So thankfully I was able to get the renovation finished and do all that and learned a ton through that process, because we do, like, real estate investing is also a huge part of what I do and what a lot of the clients that we work with. And coming out of that, it was just like the fire hose turned on.
yeah,
But I honestly prefer not necessarily this market, but I prefer a more balanced market. It was honestly insane. Like, we did 100 transactions in 21, I believe. Yeah, 21 or 22. And it was just me, Steph, and one assistant. So it It was insane. It
Chaotic.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the most offers I saw in a house was 36. Like it was crazy.
How about the lines wrapping around the house to come see it? I never saw anything like it. And ridiculously overpriced that they were
Yeah.
paying to get into the properties.
Yeah, you
So,
couldn't properly advise, and people were so pressured and rushed, and this whole fear, like fear of missing out, was what was really pushing people. And we had to have the conversation so many times to talking people out of doing it because we're just like, you're just doing this because there's six other people doing it. Like it just
mhm.
didn't even feel like a fit for you. So it was not very enjoyable. Everybody thinks it was, oh, what a heyday, you could make a pile of money, but it's like
Oh, it's exhausting.
it was, yeah,
It was mentally and physically exhausting. And you know what you just said, trying to talk clients out of making a mistake, that goes to your integrity,
for
and
sure.
which is a big piece in this industry,
Yeah,
because there were agents that didn't have that integrity. They needed the sale. They'd been COVIDed, shut them down to a large degree, and now boom, they could really make hay while they could, and clients did suffer from that.
yeah,
I had one where my client, she wanted to pay $100,000 over list on an 800,000 plus home. And I said, I can't tell you in good conscience, this is the wise decision. I said, if you want to
yeah,
do it, it needs to be up to you, but I'm going to hope that you're going to stay there a while so that you
yeah,
can get some recoup on it. I said, this feels uncomfortable to me. Now they went ahead and did it. And then they wanted to sell 3 years later, and they'd put another 132 into it. And I said, "Oh, guys," I said, "I'll comp it, and we'll see where we're at." And fortunately, they still made 100,000 on it, which was
wow,
surprising. But they were fortunate to have been in a market where it was exploding even well after that. Thank God.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was amazing. But you're right. So integrity is a big piece and balance is a big piece. I know that's something that you had put in your profile that, you take time for yourself, you're taking time for working out, and tell us a little bit about that because that's an important element.
Yeah, that's a huge pillar for our team is actually functioning like a team, like all of us shared in the wins, whether I write the contract, get the offer accepted, officially sell the property, like everybody, we kind of pool our resources together where everybody celebrates in the wins, which is extremely
Hmm.
important. And then we also have staggered days off and we just set expectations with clients. We meet every morning at 10 a.m. as a team. Everybody's plugged into what's going on. We're not a massive team. We've genuinely kept our team small for that purpose and reason. So you don't feel like you're getting passed off, but allowing
Hmm.
us to recharge. We're human. And in order for us to perform our best for you, we need to be at our best. So that's been a pillar for what we do now. And just actually added another agent to our team that we've been working on for a couple of years. And I think we've kind of got the perfect mix now. But it's
Hmm.
extremely important. Like I remember my first even 2 years in the business, I didn't take a single day off,
Oh, yeah.
which I was young, I was hungry, I was ready to go, which is amazing. But I didn't realize the burnout that was in me because I just thought, oh, I always used to say, I'm just built different. I can go, I can keep going. But once I took time to unplug even the way the thoughts and the things that I had that I just didn't have time to think on, well, that old adage of working on the business and not in the business.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been extremely important for us and clients don't suffer. If anything, they get actually a better service because there's always somebody on who's fully plugged in and who's whether it's a weekend or a Monday or whatever day of the week it is. So it's been huge for us. And I think everybody really appreciates, especially working on other teams or being a single agent. It's a Sunday afternoon and you're at, one of the guys that works with us, he's having a baby today
Oh,
and he's at the
wow.
hospital. And so all his clients are well looked after. Like I'm going out for showings with his clients right after this. And he just gets to fully unplug to be able to do his thing. And I think that's a missing thing in this business. Everybody looks at the dollar amount and they don't want to cut up the pie and they're getting into it for the wrong reasons. But as we always say, like it's always client first. And you touched on it too, where it's like, especially in the heydays when COVID was going on, everyone's just thinking about the paycheck versus like, this is going to be my client for life. And you
Yes.
always have to view it through that lens and what's genuinely best for them. Right.
Right.
And it's like the paycheck is a byproduct of doing that. And everybody
Hmm.
has these lead generation systems and this and that to try and funnel new people into their hopper. If you focus on the people that you're actively working with or you've worked with and you do a really damn good job, that person, the average person transacts every 4 to 5 years. They have friends, they have family, they have coworkers. Like that is the web. That is the secret sauce, which is no secret. It's
It's
just
so
people
true.
lose track of that.
I've got a family that I've done 14 sides with them over probably the past 8 years. Big sides too, big and little, all different because it would be the daughter, the son, or now we're going to move or we want to buy. And it was so much. And now they're all kind of settled in. Darn it.
Yeah.
But, but it doesn't matter. Like the other day I saw that the primary woman, her name popped up on Instagram and it looked like a spam to me. And I screenshot it. I said it to her. I said, "Is this your new profile that you got going on Instagram?" And she goes, "No." I said, "All right, I'm going to report it and shut it down." So I did. But that little thing like that, just helping your client. Now, I haven't done a deal with them in probably 3 years now. But it doesn't matter because they're still my client. I'm
Yeah.
still going to do the little things, right? And
Yeah.
because what happens when you do business like you're talking about, that becomes a
Yeah.
family that you're part of. And that's the difference. I had a friend who he was a Mike Ferry maniac, always on the phone, beating the phone to death every single day. And I said, "What do you do with these people now that you've sold them? You do big business, clearly." I said, "But you're
Hmm.
starting over every single day." I
Yeah.
said, "Are you nurturing any of these people? Because that's what you want is the repeat business, the constant dialing for dollars." Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 100%. And we noticed that big when did when we had the year where we did 100 deals. We were like, okay, that's not sustainable. And are we handling and doing the same level of service that we should be? Are we adhering to that? So then
Hmm.
we've actually slowly started to taper it back, and it's much more of quality over quantity. We had situations where we have a family just like you're talking about. I think we've done, yeah, it's probably 14 ends with them, and probably in the last 5 years. They're
See?
still doing stuff. One of them's a builder, all sorts of things. But, we'd be very busy. We'd have 20 listings, and then he would call. And I always was like, why did we say yes to this other thing where I know I need to leave a door open for these types of people? So
Hmm.
it's just all about finding out what that line is and just like sticking to that. So you don't get into a situation of over promising and under delivering. So
Right.
there's even, in the peak markets for us, usually like March, April, May is our busy season of the year, historically over the last like 4 or 5 years. So we'll hit a cap and we won't take on new business.
Hmm.
And we have to. Our team's small. We only can do so much. And we have a certain level of service that we know we all have to adhere to. Meeting every day, we're always continually talking about, okay, how's everybody's bandwidth? Where are we at? Like open lines of communication on that, because it is important. Like other people, if I'm not burning out because I'm taking time off, but and our support staff is starting to burn out, it's like we all need to be at our best. So
Yes.
it's, again, the getting into the industry, I think a lot of people get into it for the paycheck versus like, I want to service people. I want to create long lasting relationships. And you hit the nail on the head when you said family. We have group chats with our clients and we always chime in and just say, hey, like, welcome to the TJ and Steph Real Estate Group family. And
Mm.
that's what we're creating.
Yeah.
Important.
Well, and people want to be a part of a family. They don't, I mean, not everybody does. You'll get some grumpy people out there, but that's not my client. I don't know about you.
No, yeah. I have no problem saying no to that anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's an important lesson. We should talk about that. Some people are so hungry they'll take anybody on, and overpriced listings or really discounted commissions. No, stop it. Have a confidence in what you're bringing to the table and your skill, even if you're new, because
Yeah.
most people, I think a solo agent starting out not on a team is just basically foolish. They need camaraderie and they need guidance. And on your kind of team, it's really unique to me. So you're saying, how do you meet? Do you do it on a Zoom? Do you do it in person?
No, in person. Yeah, I was able to buy a commercial space downtown in Kelowna here. And
Uh-huh.
so all of us are in the office every day. And then depending on if there are agents who are off specific days of the week, but even
Hmm.
today at 10 a.m., we meet as a full team. We have a boardroom and kind of put everything up on the screen. We're very systematic in how we do everything. So like we've got a very active board of like all of our active clients, active buyers, active sellers, accepted
Yeah.
offers coming soon, all that stuff. So we kind of comb through everything top to bottom. And then once a week is a bit longer meeting where we talk about like successes, highs, lows, ways we can improve, upcoming events or things we have planned, stuff like that. So it's very collaborative, and it's important when you're on a team, because I know a lot of teams, like you say, they meet once a week, maybe over Zoom. but like, how are you actually understanding what's going on, especially if there's crossover with multiple agents being involved?
Mm-hmm.
Where our clients, like, if I go and I'm going to do these showings after this, and I already know we have our CRM all dialed in with like their kids' names, their birthdays, like absolutely everything. So I feel like I go into these types of meetings where I haven't met these folks yet, but eyes wide open. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, they just feel like, oh God, you're just going to open the door for me, right? There's so much more value that is there. So
Yeah. So tell me this now, when you like doing this for him, is this just like a favor, or are you making it financially where everyone wins because you're
yeah,
spending your time? How do you do
yeah.
that?
So we have like, it's his client, his center of influence or COI. So we have different split structures if it's like a team generated lead versus a center of influence lead.
Gotcha.
But no matter if I do every single showing with them, and he's going to be away for probably a month having his baby and getting settled to dad life. If I do the whole process start to finish, that splits doesn't change. And
Wow.
it's important because like if I am away, I'm a big snowmobiler. That's what fills my cup. So we're getting into snow season. I know I've got a couple days penciled in to go on some trips and stuff. And it comes full circle when you look at it from a 12-month span versus like each individual specific deal.
Yeah.
And we have kind of like leadership meetings once a month with one-on-ones with each of the members of the team as well. So making sure everybody's, feeling good about things, or if, hey, like I felt like I've put more into this deal and these things haven't panned out. There's a very open line of communication on all that, but it's not about the bottom dollar. It's about like creating the true family from within our organization. And
Hmm.
that then kind of bleeds out into our clients, into how we go about things day to day. It's
I
a
love
very
that.
unique split structure for sure, though.
It's very unique model of a team.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why you've won all these awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it really is a good system. So tell me about how you're doing AI into your business. Because you and I talked a little before about you're being very careful that it's not over AI'd. Talk about that.
Yeah. I think, as we both discussed too, like real estate is such a relationship based business, and people want to do business with people. So AI has definitely streamlined a lot of systems, a lot of processes, allowed us to find and access information a lot quicker. Where looking at zoning codes and
Right.
breakdowns and OC Ps and all that stuff, you can get the access the information right away. But we are very, very vigilant that we don't want to over automate everything where people feel like they're talking to a robot. The systems are
Hmm.
continually improving, so we're staying on top of like what these automations are and how we can integrate them. But we don't see something and then implement it. We see it, we play with it, we talk about it. How is this going to impact the consumer or the client? And is that going to have a good or negative impact? Even if it takes a little bit of time off our bandwidth, but people are going to feel like they're talking to a robot. Okay, how is that going to work? So there's a lot of, it's amazing. It's very scary. Like AI genuinely scares me. And as we discussed too, a lot of times I feel like people right now, they're using it as their backbone and they're just fully heavily relying on it, where the information is not always correct. You
No.
cannot use that as your backstop. You still have to verify what it's spitting out to you.
Yeah.
So it's I don't ever think it's going to replace the actual agent.
I don't
And I
either.
think that there's so many ways we can show value beyond those things. We should use those tools to kind of amplify our business. But at the end of the day, like I always use the analogy for myself, like moving around 16 times. I know neighborhoods that are built on clay because we did full renovations. I know the school systems. I know the catchments. Where the sun rises and sets. Like there's just so many things that you can't get off of through AI. Or if I live in a neighborhood called Glenmore here locally, and I can, we just sold a few houses over in that neighborhood and be able to tell people about everything that's going on in and around there. It's there's such a human component to it too, and like that relationship aspect that I think so many people are missing. Still so much power in picking up the cinder block phone and connecting with people versus shooting automated text, automated follow-ups, automated all these things.
Yeah.
It's like people will start to lose the touch, and you won't be that relationship person. When they think real estate, they need to think you. They're not going to think, oh, that guy sends me an email every month, but like I haven't talked to him in 2 years. I don't even know what he's up to. Right.
Right.
There's a huge difference to that.
Yeah, and they're stiff. They're not warm and fuzzy, you
Yeah.
know. And yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I think you got to stay in touch with your clients. I did something started years ago called with send out cards. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, we do. We do a ton of send out cards. And
Yes.
that was one thing we automated. And then it just doesn't look like a handwritten note. So we actually spend a lot of time every week doing handwritten notes. Like I'd have to talk to Sydney who sends them all out, but I would guess we do 30 to 50 a week.
So what do you mean now? How are you doing them handwritten within send out cards?
So we did automated send out cards, but now we just send out handwritten cards.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But like birthdays, anniversaries, home anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day, we have a Christmas newsletter that goes out. Like there's so many different touches and more personalized,
Yeah, yeah.
or like random stuff that we see on social media, like somebody's recovering from surgery. We send them a card and just say, hey, we just saw that you got out of surgery. We're thinking
Yeah.
about you. Send love. Like the amount of texts and messages and like that's the difference.
Yeah. So what I did with send out cards is they're an online platform, but you
Mm-hmm.
can send it US mail. So
Yeah.
I'm connected with all my clients on Facebook, right? So I would see
Mm-hmm.
like here's a new baby or a new puppy or something. I'd grab that, and because they have an app, I would grab that picture on my phone and I would do a card where that's the cover of the card, that picture of the new baby or whatever. And then on the inside, I would basically say, I thought you might enjoy this physical picture of that happy moment because all our pictures are in our phones now, and this
Yeah.
one you can keep. And then I would do some sort of saying or quote on the back of the card. I wouldn't have any branding on it at all. They would know it was me. And
Yeah.
I got more. I was telling you earlier, I got a $5 million, was I telling you? $5 million deal from this one woman that I stayed in touch with for years. She had a little store and I would do little things for her throughout the years where I would promote that store. And I knew the house that she had was a multi-million-dollar home on the water here. And she had just got it when I met her. And so 12 years of sending cards of different things where I was doing things for her. I got a few sales here and there with her son, her sister, things like that. And then one day she said, I'm selling the big one. I'd like you to do it. And I'm like, oh, that works. $5 million home.
Yeah.
And that was right. Was it right before COVID, or it was in a tough market? But I had it sold in 11 days too because of the type of connections that I also have. That's another
Yeah.
important point. You talked about you're always on a mission to get connected with different people of influence and
100%.
I think that's so important.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. I watched my father had a HVAC company, as I was mentioning, and just his Rolodex, and with doing renovations in this, like a tile guy, a painter, an electrician, like absolutely everything. So especially when I got started, it was like mandatory for me to have at least a coffee a day with someone to create my Rolodex. And
Yes.
I'm big now on like, I've got a few rental properties in Kelowna, West Kelowna, our office. So we've done a lot of renovations and stuff as well. So I personally use and vet the people that I put my clients in touch with. It's not
Yes.
just painter that I hope it works well. It's guy I found on Instagram or Facebook, and he's the highest reviewed. And there are situations where it's some off thing that someone needs, and I'm like, hey, I don't have someone specific for this. I've called this person, I've looked them up on Google, blah 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 blah. But the importance of having your Rolodex of professionals, because that's your umbilical cord to your business. So
It
these people
is.
need to have a similar standard to the way that you operate, literally down to like an electrician. Like our electrician is my buddy. We've got this really cool Monopoly wall in our office. And instead of like the Monopoly logos, we have a bunch of like very cool properties that we've sold or good stories. And even
Oh,
for the electrical company, instead of having electrical company, his logo's up there.
oh,
So
I
that's
love
our
that.
electrician that we send out to everybody, and lawyers, mortgage brokers, of course, but down to like car salesmen, literally anything somebody would need.
Anything.
You want them to be or you to be their resource.
Yes.
So that was extremely important. And I think a lot of times you could call a lawyer, you could send them an email, but like when you get face to face, belly to belly with them, you create an impression. They'll have
Yep.
more incentive to be like, yeah, I remember that kid. He's a hustler, and like I'm gonna knock this one out of the park. And
Yeah.
then you slowly start to build that web.
I love that.
So that's, yeah.
I use the send out cards for that, and I would do it once a month. And it'd say on the cover, it said, I got a guy and a gal too. So I never gave my whole Rolodex. I never wanted
No.
that. I would give one and I would feature them with all the information that about their company on the left hand side. And then on the right, I would basically say, Here's my monthly card where I'm sending my favorite clients, of which you are one, the information about this particular guy because I know him, I trust him, you'll trust him, whether you need him or not right now. Save his name and number. Feel free to share it with anybody. I get nothing for this other than the satisfaction of doing a good job for my clients. And
100%.
I would brand the back of that card. And
Yeah.
and that's really how that card, along with promoting her business, that woman with the 5 million, that's how I stayed in touch. And people would call me up every single month and say, I don't need what you had in the card, Kath, but I need this because I know you got a guy. And
Yeah.
if I didn't have it, I was tracking them down like a junkyard dog,
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah. It's
saying,
important.
vetting them.
And I have so many, I can imagine you as well. You get, whether it's electricians, plumbers, sign guys, you name it, people call us and they say, hey, like,
Yeah.
you put me in touch with your client, I'll give you $100. And I always stop them and I say, hey, look, like, that's not a thing that works for me. Like,
Yeah.
if I put you in touch with somebody, the referral back to me is you doing a 10 out of 10 job where they call me and say, thank you so much. This guy was amazing. Like,
Yes.
that means more than the $100 you're going to kick me or a bottle of wine. Like, just do a damn good job. That's all I
Yeah.
need you to do.
I never want that little bit of pittance. It's no value to me because I think my clients and yours would feel a slack of integrity on who you just referred.
Yeah.
No, it's not what
Especially if
you
they
want.
find it out and then it comes up and you're like, oh, you're backpedaling. It's like, no, there's no gain for me here other than you're going to be looked after.
Yes.
That's the gain for me because I know my
Yes.
people are in good hands.
Yeah. Well, this was great. I really appreciated you being on here today. I know you got to get to your next meeting and I appreciate you so much. So,
Yeah,
any
likewise.
last little words of advice?
I think, well, getting into the business, I feel like I meet with a lot of younger agents because, again, I've only been in the business for 7 years, and like you say, some of the accolades and stuff, which are amazing. But I think the biggest thing is, and I've said it 10 times, but just come at it with a genuine perspective of wanting to help people and do a good job. Like, our business is literally built on reviews, word of mouth, and repeat business and referral. It's Reviews are such a hidden link as well. Like, when you do a good job for somebody and they feel it and you ask them to do a review, they'll pour their heart out. And that is the easiest way for people to find you online. We
Yes.
just did a deal for 17.5 million and the guy found us online through reviews,
Wow.
which is free. There's no dollars that get spent on that. It's just doing a good job for clients, leaving a review about their experience. We always set expectations day one. We
Yeah.
just say something along the lines of the initial meeting, like, our genuine mission is to create a 10 out of 10 experience for you. And if we're able to achieve that, which we're very confident we'll be able to, we're going to ask something of you. And that's for you to take 2 minutes to leave us a quick review, which is the best way to help our business grow. Would that be okay? Would that be something you're open to? Absolutely. Who isn't going to want to do that when you knock their
Right.
socks off? Best experience. And then when that time comes at the end, they're like, yeah, you guys did a great job. I'll keep my end of the bargain here and leave a review.
You're asking for it up front. You're saying, here's what
100%.
I'm going to do. Here's all I need from you.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
that
that.
principle of reciprocity where people are like, and for me, if anybody ever does a great job for me and they ask for a review, I'm like, absolutely. Because I know how impactful that is for my business.
Right. Yeah.
And you obviously end up working with lots of business owners or people, or you just explain to them how it helps your business, or examples like, a $17, $18 million listing and how that came from something like that.
Yes.
So
That's
there's no
strong.
secret. It's just, again, doing a good job, setting expectations that when you do a good job, that there's a quick little favor you're going to ask of them.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, TJ. I appreciate
My pleasure.
having you on here. And so, everybody, that's a wrap on this one. If you're interested in getting in touch with TJ up in his area of the world, all his contact information will be below and you can reach out to him. So, thanks again, everybody. Then let's book a strategy call and see how it would look in your eyes. And if you're thinking, man, I'd like to have a conversation with Kathy Byrnes. Maybe I'd like to be part of this EXP company and see what it's all about. That sounds good to me. Let's book a strategy call and let's have a talk. No pressure, but man, it's worth a conversation. The link's in the description.